Yeah, that's what it's about. Censorship. The assassination of an idea.
Good morning, YouTube. This is the Prince of Moab, and I'm here to talk to you about the Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA, also known as in the other side of Congress, the Protect IP Act, or PIPA, often dubbed by opponents of the bill as the Internet Censorship Act due to provisions in Protect IP which would muck around with the domain name service, DNS, on the internet, which basically changes names into numbers in order to allow us to access websites, and sweeping notions in SOPA that would call for financial institutions connected to the United States to shut down activity with foreign sites simply because they were accused of copyright infringement. What does this mean for gamers? Under the current, but obviously broken, but functional policy of the DMCA, if a gamer posts in-game footage, such as a speed run or their own machinima or their own activity running around in a game, the content owner, i.e. the video game publisher, can call for a site like YouTube to take it down. However, if the user feels that they have done this and not in violation of the law and not as an infringing process, they can file a counter notice and have it put back up again. This leads to a second stage, where then the two parties duke it out in court. SOPA, on the other hand, will essentially remove the second stage of this by making sure that a content site like YouTube cannot put it back up again until the accused offender clears their name by going to court and getting the accuser to renege. If the content does get put back up again, as functions with the DMCA, the content site like YouTube would then lose their safe harbor provision and would be able to be targeted for infringement as well. This constitutes all that's needed for a dire, chilling effect on gamers who do live streams, produce walkthroughs, or even machinima, all of which exist in the gray areas of fair use and make up a majority of the content that arises out of gamer culture. The Entertainment Software Association has declared allegiance with this Internet Censorship Bill. Included in those video game studios who belong to the ESA, there are more than 6 highly recognizable MMO publishers who have fallen in line behind the bill. Let's hear a list of what games they publish. Nexon America, Dragon Nest, and MapleStory. Perfect World Entertainment, Rusty Hearts and Perfect World. Trion Worlds, the publisher of the would-be WoW killer Rift. Sega America, Spiral Knights. Sony Online Entertainment, the publisher of the much-hyped upcoming Star Wars The Old Republic. Square Enix, Final Fantasy, and Wakfu. On the other side of the equation, there's a number of publishers who are against SOPA. And while only one of them that I recognize offhand is an MMO publisher, they're still people who function in the gamer community. Bethesda Game Studios, the publisher of Skyrim. Valve Software, the publisher of Portal 1 and Portal 2, and the people who run the Steam online game service. And finally, Activision Blizzard, World of Warcraft, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. If you want a healthy online gamer culture, you should look into outfits like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Entertainment Consumers Association. Right now, supporters of this bill are trying to get Congress to push it through as quickly as possible by pretending that there isn't a great deal of opposition to it. In fact, during a hearing about SOPA, out of the, I believe, 9 or 10 different people to speak for or against the bill, 9 of them were for it, and 1 of them against. And that one was Google. And Google, as one of the largest online content providers and aggregators in the entire world, and also the people who run YouTube currently, you'd think that they know when there's a problem with a bill that's going to cause undue chilling effects and censorship on the people. So, if you have the time, check out these 2 groups and see what you can do to stop legislation like this. It's on all of us to make sure that, well, we have a free and open dialogue, and that we are capable of using the products and media, even copyrighted media, that flows into our culture in order to address it. Because without that, how will we ever be able to move forward without the foot of giant corporations on our back? This has been the Prince of Milav. Good night, YouTube. Good night, and good dreams.